Hey guys, Tommy with Elevation every weekend here. Thanks for stopping back at the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why I recently sold my full suspension bike, even though I was a big fan of the bike itself. The bike was a 2017 Giant Anthem 2 that I did buy brand new back in 2017. This was back when Giant was in their big push to promote 27.5 as the ideal wheel size for mountain biking. They felt it promoted most of the benefits of a larger 29-inch wheel, such as contact patch and rollover, while offering the strength and the lighter weight associated with the smaller 26-inch wheels that have kind of fallen by the wayside. And when they did this, they largely eliminated most of the 29-inch wheels from their lineup, even on their pure cross-country bikes like the Anthem, which was always a 29er. And while 27.5-inch wheels certainly do have a place in mountain biking and are still out there, generally speaking, the trends have moved back towards the 29er, even on a lot of the more aggressive, bigger travel, enduro, and downhill bikes. But that's a topic for another video. So this bike by 2017 standards was a fairly aggressive cross-country bike, and had some really strong trail capability. Previously in 29er form, the Anthem was a 100mm front travel with 90mm of rear travel. This redesigned version with the 27.5 wheels was 120mm of front travel and 110mm of rear travel, and it came with outstanding Fox suspension front and rear and included a dropper seat post. So after getting it, I paired it with some larger, more aggressive Maxxis Minions front and rear, set it up tubeless, and the bike really did punch above its weight on the trail. I really did push the bike to its limits, doing some high elevation, big mountain rides, including some long technical descents, and the bike always handled everything I threw at it. Again, the Anthem being a cross-country nameplate, I actually felt like it was a better all-around trail bike than it was a pure cross-country bike. Again, I did feel like the geometry and the travel of the bike with the larger, more aggressive tires made it a really serviceable trail bike compared to being a lightweight, climb-oriented, pure cross-country bike. And actually one of the biggest problems I had with the bike with the 1x11 Dior drivetrain was that I could spin it out extremely easily. So it was really not geared for speed the way it was set up. So if it performed well and I liked it, why did I end up selling it? So one of the primary factors ended up being just for a lack of use for my riding style. I just wasn't using it for the dedicated trail type use that it was best suited for. It's not a bike I would ever ride on pavement or even dirt roads or gravel grind. I would only use it on trails. And in the summertime, most of the moderate cross-country trails that are in the foothills and easily accessible really fill up fast on evenings and weekends. So that had become a deterrent for going out locally. So to really enjoy it and do some good trail riding on it, I would have to drive further up into the mountains, and it just wasn't something I had time to do on a regular basis. So I ended up really riding the bike sparingly in the last 2 or 3 years. And the other, and ultimately probably the main reason why I ended up selling it, was my 2020 Surly ice cream truck. Once I got that bike, not only did it take attention from other bikes like the Anthem, just because it was so much fun to ride, I started using the ice cream truck on some of the same kinds of terrain that I would use the Anthem for, and found the ice cream truck to be very comparable in its overall capability. I know it sounds possibly odd to say that a steel frame, fully rigid fat bike could hang with a full suspension mountain bike, but that was my experience. I actually found the ice cream truck was more capable in some areas and a little less capable in others, but still comparable. And the ice cream truck always won on the fun factor compared to pretty much any bike that I own. For a point of reference, I did a video a couple years ago called Fat Bike Torture Test. I'll link that down in the description below if you want to check it out. This video features me riding my ice cream truck on an old Jeep trail, which is extremely steep, has a number of switchbacks and off-camber soft soil conditions, and has a lot of ruts and a lot of rocks. So there are rock gardens with baby head sized rocks throughout. And it also climbs to well over 11,000 feet in elevation. So it's a really high elevation, steep, long climb, and then you get the descent on the way down. It's some of the gnarliest pure mountain biking that I've done in Colorado. So having ridden that very same trail on both bikes, the Anthem and the ice cream truck, it really was an epiphany on how well the ice cream truck performed. It highlighted the areas that outperformed the Anthem, and still was able to show how respectable it was in a couple of the areas where it didn't outshine the Anthem. So essentially the massive tire volume of the ice cream truck, especially with reduced air pressure, acts as suspension. And whether you're talking any other bike or car, tires are part of your suspension system. And on the ice cream truck, the aggressive tires with the massive tire volume and low air pressure means it has unparalleled traction in the bike industry. The ice cream truck decisively climbs better than the Anthem in very steep, gnarly terrain. Again, especially especially when you get into soft conditions or side slope, off camber type conditions. And the other major benefit to the large tire size is they are extremely stable and pretty much roll through everything, even compared to a full suspension bike, which can still get jostled and knocked around and offline when you're in a slow speed rock garden or in a high gear trying to climb a very steep section and the tire just doesn't have the traction to move you forward. Now, one area where the Anthem does have a decided advantage is on the descent. The more responsive and active rebound of the high quality Fox suspension does do a better job at higher speed absorbing bigger impacts, but it's a lot closer than you think considering that the ice cream truck is a fully rigid bike. And again, on the high speed descents, the large tires are much more stable at speed, which definitely gave me more confidence on varying technical terrain. So the ice cream truck really demonstrated it can do pretty much everything I was doing on the Anthem incredibly well, and being a fat bike, it means I had full use of it in winter conditions up here in Colorado, which was not terrain I would ever use the Anthem in. It would basically be sitting all winter. And because I am a fan of and own a pure hardtail 29er Carbon XC bike, that bike would always be my choice for light, fast cross-country trails in the Front Range anyways. So ultimately, in stock form, the ice cream truck overshadowed the Anthem as far as the trails I was riding with both. And since then, I did add a dropper seat post to the ice cream truck, which makes it even more trail capable. And I always have the option to add a front suspension fork to the ice cream truck if I do want to take its trail capability to the next level. So in the end, because basically I was not finding a reason to ride the Anthem on a regular basis, and it was just sitting in my garage collecting dust, and I was always choosing other bikes for whatever kind of ride I was going to do, it led me to the difficult decision to decide to sell the Anthem, as I just really couldn't justify having it just in case. And as you can see on the channel, in recent years, my focus has shifted fully to fat bikes, adventure biking 29 plus, and hardtail 29ers. So even though it probably would have been better to sell it a couple years ago where bike stocks were completely wiped out, it still is a seller's market. After looking at my options and the value of the bike in the market, I actually ended up selling it to the Pros Closet. I got fair market value for the bike from them. It was a super easy experience. And because they're only about 20 minutes away from me, I didn't have to deal with shipping the bike. I was able to take it down there and drop it off. If you'd like me to make a video on selling and buying from the Pros Closet, definitely drop a comment down below and let me know. So just to kind of wrap up, I am not anti full suspension bike. They absolutely have their place in certain types of riding. I definitely can see myself owning another full suspension bike someday. And if I did, it would probably be a much bigger travel bike, and I would go back to a 29er for sure. So if you found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, please drop a like down below. So if you have any questions, comments, think I made a mistake, or think I did the right thing, definitely drop that down in the comments below. And if you're interested in continuing to follow my bike adventures, definitely subscribe to the channel. It does really help out the channel. And I have a huge variety of bike related content on the way, so definitely stay tuned. Thanks a lot and have a great day.